Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Novel Reviews. This is episode number 13 and Doubleshot number 6. First up, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Rey's Story. Um, this novel is written by Elizabeth Schaefer. Now, there's no real point of canon. This book is already canon anyways because it takes place during Force Awakens. Pretty much when it comes to this book, all it is just The Force Awakens from Rey's perspective. That's simply all it is. There's a slight change of dialogue from Finn from the film. You have to see the film to understand. Basically, it's from their first meeting. There's a slight change of dialogue from the film to this. But it's still a pretty good book. I mean, it's nice to read a book basically all about Rey. But it's still good enough for what it is, so I give the book a 8.5 out of 10. The one thing I should criticize about this book, it's a quick read. Very quick read. It's only like 138 pages. That's how long this book is. Alright. Next up, Star Trek, the original series, The Light of Fire by James Swallow. One of the regular writers for the series of novels. Now this book probably takes place in 2360s, definitely, if I can find the historian's page, but I don't think so, no. I think it takes place, my guess, probably 2268, and probably a few months after the events of the series ended. Now, at the beginning of this book, it does give a official in-story explanation of why. Now, if anyone remembers watching the Star Trek, the animated series, we're familiar with the character Ajax, the brown-skinned alien with a long snout and the 3 arms. Yeah, this book is his first novel appearance. And this book takes place before the events of the TV show. Also, it gives an explanation of why Chekhov was not on the show in story. The official reason is because Walter Koenig was not available. This is from sources. This is from a documentary I watched about the animated series in order to continue the original show. But the reason why that he's not on the ship during the animated series, in story, the reason is because because his tour of duty aboard the Enterprise is finished, and he's going to security school, like basically learn to be a security, like trying to be the chief of security. Now, otherwise though, with the addition of Ajax, I think that's his name. Let's see, his name is let's see if I can remember to pronounce his name correctly. I know he appears very beginning of this book. Let's see. There's even a nod to Malcolm Reed. I'm trying to remember his name. I think it's Axner. I think it is. There is a reference to Ambassador Robert Fox. Those who remember from that, he's one of like 2 ambassadors that show up on the show. He was one who most of the time when he was seen on screen, he was being a dick to Kirk, and for good reason because he's an ambassador. He was part of an episode. I think it was like Private Little War. I think it was. It was the episode where there was a war going on between these 2 planets, and it's fought via the computer. I'm not kidding. And in order to justify casualties, they have people vaporized. Yeah. So you can kind of say you have a follow-up to that as well, basically because there's a reference to that in here. It's nice they reference him. Like later on in the episode, he does tone down his dickishness that he had been showing to Kirk throughout most of the episode prior to him going down the planet. Yeah. But it's a pretty interesting episode. I believe it's from I would say either season 2 or 3. I don't really remember. You have to look that up. It's one of the characters is a non-7. He's a older man with balding hair. I don't remember the name of the episode. I really don't. I would have to look it up. If you know the episode that features the character Ambassador Robert Fox, please list it in the comments below. Sorry about that. I had the guy like playing with my wrench. But this book, now they're basically in this book. The story of this book is that the Enterprise, of course, after Ajax takes his seat, as a matter of fact, he actually goes on the bridge. Before we get to the Octo story, he does come on the bridge. He gets, even though his shift hasn't started, he is allowed to look around and check out his station he's going to be using. And Sulu is there, and since Sulu is, I think, is the senior officer on the bridge at that point, he doesn't have a problem with him just looking around, just testing out the buttons, see if they work. I got handed to the writer I got handed to Swallow for doing that. The story is that there's a new ambassador on board who does reference Robert Fox, like I said. It's a woman. Basically, she's an ambassador sent there to negotiate sort of not like a treaty, basically to start diplomatic negotiations with this planet, with this alien species who's very furry, who Kirk apparently made contact with him a year ago by accident, but with this female captain, who basically she was kind of adrift, and Kirk and her crew basically helped repair her ship. Now, he does bring up later the fact because the ship, and of course they later meet up with the ship. Later on, of course, apparently the ship is coming at warp 3, which apparently last time I saw they could barely manage warp 1. So apparently they've had some advancement in the systems. Apparently the ship's a little bit bigger as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, they now the ambassador thinks that Kirk might have given her some schematics of the Enterprise, or so to get access to the ship and sort of upgrade their engines. Kirk vehemently denies it because only the captain, I don't remember her name. The Shari is the name of the species. It's a planet in the Beta Quadrant. Let's see if I can find the person's name here. I don't really remember. Okay. What the captain's name is, but she's a pretty interesting character. One thing I've got to admit the writer does correctly. One thing I'm happy he does not have Kirk do. He does not have Kirk basically flirt with her. They're basically, he treats them sort of like old friends in a way, even though they've known each other for like a year. But it's nice how basically they write each other. They go to the planet. They beam down with a few of the senior staff. They meet the leaders, stuff like that. Everything's going fine. And of course, there's this sort of rival of the captains. You know, captains is this other guy who apparently is a commander of the fleet, and he is a big dick. I'm not kidding. He's like the biggest dick of the whole the novel. And I honestly don't remember his name. It's been a little while since I've read this, but this is a really good novel. They also come basically, the planet is sort of attacked by this sort of living planet. And also there is a reference to the destroyer, the Doomsday Machine, from the episode Doomsday from season 3. Yeah, they do reference that particular episode, which I'm so happy they referenced it, because if you watch season 3, and season 3 is a season that kind of ran out of ideas, you can kind of, if you watch the season, you probably can see how well written the series, the episode is. And for a lot of Star Trek fans, that episode is considered one of the greatest it's a fan favorite episode of the whole series. They don't reference the events of the series, the episode, but they do reference the weapon itself. They do, in fact, make contact with the species they actually sort of... Now, apparently, it's later revealed that apparently this captain, who apparently is sort of a crooked guy, him and his first officer, apparently they sort of did a sort of a rating of their technology and sort of used it to upgrade their ships. That apparently is the reason for that. Eventually, they do calm things down, and the rogue planet, and of course, also I should also mention they make another reference. There's like 3 references to Star Trek episodes in this very book. The other one is to the creature Horda from The Devil Below. nor that little creature just roams around, and it's sort of basically it's killing minors in self-defense because because this creature it's a she thinks that they're after her young, and Kirk, I think it's Kirk or one of the others, actually shoot it, and apparently they actually later basically made a mistake, and McCoy, he actually sort of patched her up by using materials for emergency bunkers in order to heal this humongous creature. The wounds, basically, since this living planet kind of reminds him of the Horda. So basically, if you're a longtime Star Trek fan, you will love this novel, especially if you're a fan of the original series. You'll love it. The references to 3 episodes in here. It doesn't say what episode this takes place afterwards. My guess is it probably takes place maybe a couple months after the events of the series finale, which there is one novel that does do that. I don't remember which one it was. I had to look it up. But this is still good, and I get this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's a high recommendation because the book is just, it's just so good. And I don't want to spoil the ending of this book, but this book is just so good. And you will have a blast reading this book because this book, reading-wise, has only got 384 pages. It might be quite long, but it's well worth your time. It's not boring. It's very interesting. And Kirk is explaining stuff to this because she probably thinks that they probably don't care, or he has sort of like a mixed perception of how the Federation works. Kirk explains to her he does, the Federation does care about helping people. That is one thing that it's not really well established on the series itself, but it's kind of basically sort of the tone of the original series, that they like helping people. And I won't tell what happens to the Dick captain, what happens to him, because something really bad happens to him. You have to read a novel in order to figure it out. And one thing I should also note, though, this is just a beautiful cover to this novel. I mean, look at this novel. The cover is so freaking beautiful. It's beautifully drawn, and it's one of those mini novels that has the Enterprise, the original Enterprise, the Constitution class Enterprise from the original series on the cover of the book. Not many of these books do this. A lot of them just have floating heads, but this is actually really good. It kind of does show exactly what you kind of expect to happen in the book. You can kind of see this is one of those episodes that's sort of like a Monster of the Week type of thing, but it's good. Yeah, 9.5 out of 10. High recommendation, especially for long-time Star Trek fans. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for episode 14 when I get a chance to do it. But until then, I'll see you there. Bye.